morning, everybody. Welcome to the Young Scholars reading thingy. And today we have a few people. Would everybody like to introduce themselves?
Start with.
Good morning, young scholars. Good morning. Welcome to the Young Scholars Academy. I'm Robert Jones.
Good morning.
I got demoted this morning by somebody who is much more qualified than I am and is a rising star, Ayana. And thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Who are you, Daniel? What grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade. I come from the Bronx, and I am 11 years old.
Okay, boogie down.
Well, all right. My name is Daryl Moss. Good morning, everybody. And we got a young man who just joined us. Looks like he just woke up. Introduce yourself, sir. Just say good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I love it.
All right, Ayana, let's get this thing rolling. Let's introduce our guest.
So first, I would like to introduce a very special guest. She's been teaching for over 20 years. That's a lot. I would like to introduce Miss Moore.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. So I've been teaching for almost 30 years. Good thing I don't look like I've been teaching for 30 years. Okay. So I presently train teachers now and administrators on how to work with our youngest population, which is 3K and pre-K. So I'm very honored. I'd like to also say I am the godmother of Aaliyah, which is Ayana and Daniel's sister. So I'm very honored to be here today and have them on, and welcome to everybody else. So a book I'm going to read today is written by one of the most amazing presidents we ever had, which is Barack Obama. So he wrote this book, A VIC. It's a letter to his daughters. So I'm just going to give you a small blurb about the book before we go into it. In this tender book, beautiful letter to his daughters, President Barack Obama had written a moving tribute to 13 groundbreaking Americans and ideas that shape our nation. This beautiful book is about the potential within each of us to pursue our dreams and forge our own paths. It celebrates the characteristics that unite all Americans from our nation's founders to the generations to come, such as yourself. It is a treasure to cherish with your family forever. Have I told you lately how wonderful you are? How the sound of your feet running from afar bring dancing rhythms to my day? How you laugh and sunshine spills into the room. Have I told you that you are creative? A woman named Georgia O'Keeffe moved to the desert and painted petals, bones, barks. She helped us use a big beauty in what is small, the hardness of stone and the softness of feather. Have I told you that you are smart? That you braid great ideas with your imagination? A man named Albert Einstein turned pictures in his mind into giant advances in science, changing the world with energy and light. Have I told you you are brave? A man named Jackie Robinson played baseball and showed all of us how to turn fear to respect and respect to love. He swung his bat with grace and strength of a lion and gave brave dreams to other dreamers. Have I told you you are a healer? Sitting Bulls with Sixers medicine men who heal broken hearts and broken promises. It is fine that we are different, he said, for peace is not necessary for eagles to be crows. Though he was put in prison, his spirit soared free on the plains and his wisdom touched the generations. Have I told you that you have your own song? A woman named Billie Holiday wore a gardenia in her hair and sang beautiful blues to the world. Her voice full of sadness and joy made people feel deeply and add their melodies to the chorus. Have I told you you are strong? A woman named Helen Keller fought her way through long, silent darkness. Though she could not see or hear, she taught us to look at and listen to each other. Never waiting for life to get easier, she gave others courage to face their challenges. Have I told you how important it is to honor other sacrifices? A woman named Maya Lin designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to remember those who gave their lives in the war, and the Civil Rights Memorial to thank many of us who fought for equality. Public spaces should be filled with art, she thought, so we can talk and walk amidst it, recalling the past and aspire to fix the future. Have I told you you are kind? A woman named Jane Addams fed the poor and helped them find jobs. She opened doors and gave people hope. She taught adults and invited children to play and laugh and let their spirits grow wide. Have I told you, don't give up? When violence erupted in our nation, a man named Martin Luther King Jr. taught us unyielding compassion. He gave us a dream that all races and creeds will walk hand in hand. He marched and he prayed, and one at a time opened hearts and saw the birth of a dream in us. Have I told you that you are an explorer? A man named Neil Armstrong was the first to walk on the moon. He watched the world from way up high, and which we watched his lunar landing leaps, which made us brave enough to take our own big, bold strides. Have I told you that you are inspiring? A man named Cesar Chavez showed farm workers that they owned power when they felt they had none. The people were poor, but worked hard and loved the land. Cesar picketed and prayed and talked. The people listened to their hearts and marched for their rights. Cesar said, yes, yes, you can. Have I told you that you are part of a family? A man named Abraham Lincoln knew that all Americans should work together. He kept our nation one and promised freedom to enslaved sisters and brothers. This man of people, simple and plain, asks more of our country than that we brave as kin. Have I told you to be proud to be an American? Our first president, George Washington, believed in liberty and justice for all. His barefoot soldiers crossed wintry rivers, forging ever on. He helped make an idea into a new country, strong and true, a country of principles and a country of citizens. Have I told you that America is made up of people of every kind? People of all races, religions, and belief. People from coastlines and mountains. People who have made bright lights shine by sharing their unique gifts and giving us courage to lift one another up, to keep up the fight, to work and build upon all that is good in our nation. Have I told you that they all are part of you? Have I told you that you are one of them and that you are the future? And have I told you that I love you?
Beautiful. Wow, that's a nice book. Thank you for sharing that. Thank
Yes.
you very much for sharing that and coming on. Um, you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
So, the kids that you work with, what are some of the challenges that you see with that young group of kids, and what are some of the promises that you see with those young groups coming up?
Well, let me start with the promises, right? Because those are where we
Hmm.
go with the successes first.
Yeah.
So the promises is that the children know that we have been faced with a trying time, right? A pandemic, right? They know they miss their peers, they miss their teachers and their adults. And even though they're back into the classroom, they're still missing that big gap of socialization and an educational piece. Teachers are struggling with trying to keep the students up because they're struggling with them themselves too, right? They have their own faces with the pandemic. So the successes is that the students, all the students that I work with, all they just want it. They're eager to be ahead. They're eager to feel normal and fit in and just get back to a society which they want to know, right? So I teach upper grades children, fourth, fifth, sixth graders, all the way up to eighth graders. So the challenges that they're facing is that they are behind, right? So that's why the parents seek out the extra support, because to be in a big classroom setting and feel like I'm not getting this or I'm missing something, where all the children are feeling that, but they're not brave enough to speak out, right? They're not brave enough to say, I don't understand, or I'm not getting this, or some of them are not used to just even being back in a big setting anymore. So having them one-on-one here, with the tutoring sessions, I work with building up confidence in the area that they feel that they are lacking. So I also collaborate with their teachers, with the administrators, also with the social work providers on the school grounds, and we have a big meeting. We talk about their needs, and I just support them here in that. So I support social, educational, but I work from building up this self-esteem and moral and their morale first, and then we get to the education part piece.
Nice, nice. You know what's interesting is when people talk about mental health, they tend to talk about adults, and also younger adults, but they don't really focus
Mhm.
on or think about the young kids and how the impacts, what happened with COVID and school closing and virtual learning, how that has impacted like the youngest of us that really need that socialization that you talk about.
Yes, and I also am in the process too. That's my and what I do during the day now. I also train administrators and teachers. So I go and support administrators and teachers. So I work for the early childhood population, 3K, pre-K, which is upcoming now. It's a big push in the city, which I started my teaching career in. And one of the things that I find with a lot of teachers too, that they're struggling to connect, right? Because they feel apart, they feel distant, they feel like they're trying to get back into this groove of teaching. So that is something I do during the day, making sure I'm supporting the administrators and teachers to feel that confidence to really support our young learners.
Are you seeing more Black women and Black men getting into teaching? 'Cause I know at one point in our history that, we had to teach our own, and now with integration and assimilation, we're seeing that there's not a lot, or is the trend moving in an upward direction based on your experience and your knowledge, since you're like right there on the ground
Yes.
floor?
Now, as a child, I cannot even pinpoint one African American teacher that I've ever had. Only one assistant principal, Dr. Brindle, and I would never forget him because he was the only African American authority figure in administration that I've ever had. Now, me traveling from school to schools, I work for a particular district and it's very well widespread. So I can go to a school and we were redeployed early October. Um, and I was put into a school which I've never known. And I went in there and the school was about 98% Caucasian teachers. And when I walked in, I was treated with a lot of disrespect because they thought I was a sub, they thought I was ATR. It was very disheartening, right? So I went in and just played my position on the first day until I filled out. And then the next day I went in with my business suit and showed them exactly who Miss Moore was, right? And I spoke. And there were some children there that I felt was not in the correct setting. So I spoke to the administrator about it, that I saw some of our Black and brown children in settings that they shouldn't have been. They should have been pushed a little bit further, but they were just there because no one really dove into and saw the progression. I was only there 9 days and saw this automatically.
Mm,
So I spoke with the teachers. I got a lot of pushback from the administrators. Well, I got pushbacks from the teachers because they said, the principal doesn't like you to tell what to do. I said, I'm not talking from opinion. I'm talking from evidence base, right? I'm
yeah,
here assessing these children. I'm here teaching these children. I've been here 9 days and saw amazing things, and children are not in right settings. So I now go to the other end of the South Bronx, where I go into schools, and the teachers there are predominantly African American, but I feel with them, they are not given the support that they're needed as far as training wise, right? Because nobody knows everything, right? Teachers need
yep,
help too. We want to make sure, but the support is not there because all the administrators there, what I am seeing, which I like to say, most of the administrators in the South Bronx are African American now, and
okay,
women, ladies. We are up and coming in this field because it was very hard. We always thought about administration for men, right? But I do see that. So to answer your question, on one end of the spectrum, I'm not seeing it. But if I go into a whole different part, I'm seeing it. So them up and coming, they're isolated to one section of the Bronx, and the Caucasian is isolated to the other section. So integration part, no. Is it up and coming? Yeah, but it's isolated, if that
gotcha.
answers your question.
No, it does. It does. I appreciate the input and the feedback.
Yes.
Um, Kids, you have an educator on. the show today. Do you have any questions for her?
I knew it
Oh,
might.
Amaya. Yep, Amaya
All
got her
right,
hand up. Go
Amaya.
ahead.
Okay.
Do you come to Springfield and come to different schools out here?
Well, I'm not sure where Springfield is. That Connecticut?
That's
Massachusetts.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
No, I've never been there, but if you invite me, sure. Talk
Yeah,
to you. Yeah.
I go to Dorman
Dorman?
Elementary School.
Okay. So maybe we could connect with your teachers. I've never been there. And maybe I could come and, spend a day and see what's going on in Massachusetts. I've never been there.
Please, I'll appreciate it.
Yes. So we have to get some information for you. Okay. I'll give you my number and then we could connect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Amaya, you're also a board member for Chess Angels, right?
Yes.
Oh,
And
can you give me a little information about that?
You guys do. Go ahead, Amaya.
We do different activities. Last year we did Kwanzaa and we had lots of fun. We learned the candles of it, and then we did backpacks for back to school. We painted backpacks.
Right. Oh, nice. Very nice. So I'm going to give everyone my number because I do meet with students virtually. So if sometimes you feel like you need some support in school or something that you need. So I do tutor virtually. I don't want to tutor. Just I want to give you my number. If you want me to tutor, but fine. I'm not advertising myself. Not at all. Meaning that I'm not advertising.
You did.
Yes. No, I wasn't. But I will give you my number because sometimes it might be something in school, maybe something you just need some suggestions on, or maybe some more support. And then so I do meet virtually. So that would be good. So Amaya, that will also be a way that maybe I can connect and live stream into your classrooms. So we can connect with your teacher. That's a way too, right? And I could do this one that read aloud to your classroom or your classmates. Oh, you just got me so excited today. I love this book, right? So I would love to just share it with other students.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Daniel, you're going to challenge me, Daniel? Daniel was one of my students too, who did amazing under my direction. So go ahead, Daniel.
What grades did you teach?
Oh, boy. I taught, started on early childhood. So I taught from early as 2.6 to 2.9. And then I taught kindergarten and first grade. And then I was an assistant teacher, head teacher. And then I ultimately was an assistant director of a school for 3 years. Then I moved into public school where I taught kindergarten, I taught first grade. And then I moved from first grade to fifth grade. And then I came out of that and I became a coach, a mentor, and an AIS support provider for students who needed extra support. And I also did where I prepped students for the state exams, which Ayana and Aaliyah knows. They were students of mine, and just pushing them and supported them to be very successful. And they were. I can say out of all of my 30 years, none of my students ever got held back.
No.
Wow.
I had to
Thank you.
think none.
That's what's up. And what grade? Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was gonna say if I was one of your students, I'd probably get held back because I'm stubborn.
No, you won't. Me too. And I need to say that when I went to fifth grade, we faced challenges with our Black and brown children, and those were the children that I had. I had all the children who were stubborn, who had challenges, and they were my best students in the end. They were amazing.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right.
Got me emotional. They were, yeah. It's very hard not teaching anymore. With this field I'm in, I'm doing more supporting. So, I don't really have that connection, and that's why I lent myself to dealing with students in my home, and because I still needed to have that connection. It was very important for me.
That's what's up. All right, we're gonna turn it back over to Ayana. Any questions or anything for our guest, Ayana?
Not really. But I very much so appreciate your reading today.
Thank you.
And let's switch it up a bit. Hold on, I'm trying to find somebody who doesn't usually go first after a guest to go first.
Well, before you do that, Ayana, I know Miss Moore has to go because I know she has
Yes.
to go.
Yes.
So everybody, please say thank you to Ms. Moore. Thank you for joining.
Thank
And
you
we
very
look forward
much.
Yes.
to you back.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
Yes.
you, Miss Moore.
There's going to be a way. Thank you. I'm going to give my information to Miss Shepherd,
Okay.
and then she can give it to you to share with all the boys and girls, right? Or Ayana, you can get it from your mom once I get off. She has my numbers, my emails, and then share it with everyone. And invite me again. I have an identical twin who's an educator. She's also a guidance counselor, so she can come on and talk about some social and emotional pieces with the
Oh,
students. So
that'd be a
we
good
are
speech.
here if you need us, and I will speak to her, and she'll be more than glad to be here.
Well,
Love
we're
to have a
looking
guy
forward to her
counselor.
joining us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I will speak to her. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you, parents. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it this time.
You
Have a
are
nice
Thank you.
day.
Yes. Thank
welcome
you.
back.
Bye-bye.
Ayana, who you got first?
Okay, so let's choose Daniel to go first. He doesn't really go first.
All right, there it is.
Go ahead, Daniel. Look at all enthused.
Daniel, you want your theme music?
Huh?
Oh yeah, they all get the music today. They all get it.
Okay, so the book. My name is Daniel. I'm in the 6th grade. I'm 11 years old, and the book that I will be reading is this time is not a continuation of the book that I was already reading. This is a new book called Dork in Disguise that Ayana gave me. All
Is
right.
Ayana trying to tell you something? Ayana, what do you?
Yeah, there may or may not have been some hidden messages in that one.
All right. Chapter 1. You can let me out of here, Jerry Flack said to his mother. It was the first day of school, and the oatmeal Jerry had eaten for breakfast lay like a brick in his stomach. But your school is still 3 blocks away, his mother said. She slowed the car to avoid hitting a squirrel that darted across the road. That's okay, Jerry said. I'll walk to the school starting tomorrow. I measured the distance on my bike odometer, and it's only 7/10 of a mile. At a rate of 3.5 miles an hour, I should be able to get to school in. He paused, staring up at the sun visor and figured it out in about 12 minutes. Then he realized he was doing it again, figuring math problems in his head, something only a dork would do. It was a good thing there wasn't anyone around. After all, this was the first day of a new school, at a new school in a new town, and Jerry was turning over a new leaf. This was the first day of the rest of his life. He had a plan all worked out. He was gonna stop being a dork, and he would start Nathaniel Hawthorne Middle School, disguised as a school guy. He'd be using styling gel on his hair this morning before he blew his hair dry. The gel had worked its magic. His hair didn't stick out all the way as it usually did, and it was full of body as just the label had promised. But Jerry knew that being cool wasn't just about hair. It was about more, so much more. He had studied the subject for several months now. Ever since his parents had said that they were moving to Spencer Lake, he had poured 4 hours over magazines like Teen Scene and Ultimate Cool, and gossip magazines like Guess Who and Dish and Dirt. He had watched endless hours of music videos on TV and had lurked in plenty of teen chat rooms on the web, trying to get a feel of how cool kids talk to one another. But the subject cool was broad and deep. Jerry wondered whether he knew enough for his disguise to work. How things went today would tell him a lot, whether he had prepared himself sufficiently. Just pull up at the corner, Jerry said. His mother stopped the car. Remember to go straight home after school and stay with Melissa. I'll be back after my 4 o'clock class. Jerry said. Okay, Jerry said. Have a good day, kiddo. Thanks. Jerry was glad no one heard his mother call him kiddo, and he made a mental note never to let his mother near other kids. Cool guys don't have mothers who call them cute names. He got out the car. Bye, Mom. He shut the door and watched her drive away. When she was safely out of view, he took off his glasses and poked them into his backpack. The world around him looked a little blurry. He could see fuzzy cars swept past, a couple of cloudy kids on bikes, and a smeary dog barking in the next yard. That was okay. He could get used to it. Cool guys didn't wear glasses. He strolled along the sidewalk for the next 3 blocks. It was a good thing he had been there. It was a good thing there had been a sale on blocks on T-shirts that weekend. He'd left his world's best grandson shirt in his closet and planned to throw it in the garbage sometime soon when his mother wasn't looking, and put on his new Viking shirt. He didn't know very much about the He didn't know very much about the He didn't know very much about He did not know very much about the Vikings, except that they were a football team in Minnesota. That was a subject he planned on looking into when he had more time. Cool guys knew about sports. The grounds around the school were crowded. He stopped next to an oak tree and leaned against it. He didn't think a cool guy would walk right up to strangers and start a conversation. It would be better to hang back a bit to get a feel of the place. A couple of guys chased each other around the flagpole, laughing. Definitely not cool, Jerry thought. To his right, 3 girls, all blonde, stood together, flipping their long hair over their shoulders. "Oh, what a summer I had," said blonde number 1. "The best summer of my life. All because of Adam," blonde number 2 said knowingly. Blonde number 3 nodded sadly. I can't believe his family has to move," she said. "Will you keep in touch with him?" "We promise to email every single day," blonde number 1 said. Blonde number 2 and 3 sighed. "That's so romantic," 3 said. These girls were unquestionably cool. Jerry thought these girls were unquestionably cool. Jerry thought, but too old for them. They were very tall, probably 8th graders. A guy came rollerblading past, followed by another guy on skates. They looked like they'd been wearing skates all their life. The way they threaded their way around the kids who stood like plastic cones on an obstacle course. The kid skating in front wore a red Adidas shirt. He ran both hands through his thick, wavy hair as he glided past. Jerry stared at him. The guy oozed cool from every pore. The kids in the crowd all turned to look at them. "Those guys are from Frost Elementary," Jerry heard one girl whisper to her friend. "The hunk in the front is Gabe Marshall." I'm gonna stop there for right now.
Okay. Rob, any questions?
You're muted.
Rob, you're muted. Right now he's gone.
I said I was that dork in school, and as you know, you can see because I'm talking with the mute on, but I didn't wear a disguise. But I always had comic books on me.
You was a
But
dork.
no,
You was a
yeah,
dork.
but no one messed with me though. Nobody messed with me.
He was a dork in college as well, but it's okay. Dorks are cool, man. It's like the new nerds. The new nerds are the cool ones.
Hey, stop telling my business, man.
Okay. I think to go second.
Uh-oh.
Who shall I sabotage next? Hold on.
You were sabotaging Daniel?
I don't know. We'll think about that. I'll get back to you on that one. I think who I'm gonna choose to go next is Lyric.
Lyric.
All the way from Douglasville, Georgia. Yep. Do you have a book ready?
No. Actually, I don't. Hold on. Ayana, why would you do that?
That's what families
do.
Why?
Why not?
Oh.
We have to wait for my book to get here.
Good
All right,
morning.
Ayana, I guess you got to pick someone else then. But before you pick someone else, Lyric, introduce yourself to us. How old are you? What grade you?
Yeah.
I'm 13 and I'm in the 8th grade. Shut up. 8th grade.
Wow. And you know, it's crazy. Lyric just participated in a session down in Douglasville with their city council, with a panel of other young scholars. And I seen the video, Lyric. It was really, really good. You did
Thanks.
great.
Thank you.
You want to tell us about it while you're waiting for your book?
Sure. What do you want to know? Yeah.
Okay. What type of questions did they ask you?
It was about Black History Month, and she was, Dr. Lachey was like, why do you think Black History Month is like important? And who was your shiro and hero and stuff like that?
And I think you said your hero and your shiro were your parents.
Yeah, they're cool cats.
No, and you know what? They really are. That's what's up. How you doing, Jemai? Jemai is quiet. Jemai is like a young, just so folks know, Jemai is like a young Kanye West. He'd rather be upstairs on his computer making beats, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So here's what we're gonna do. While we're waiting for Lyrics, Lyric is gonna kill me and she's gonna fight Ayana. While we're waiting for Lyric's book to come, we're gonna go over to Amaya. You ready, Amaya? Let's do that thing, girl.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be reading the same book.
No, that's okay.
Chapter 5. What do I do now? David Michael is on his stupid picnic. Dad took Andrew to get a haircut. Sam and Charlie are at a friend's house. Isabella is sewing. Wait, where's Christy? Where is my twin? Christy, I'm in the kitchen. Hi, twin. Hi, what are you all these brownies for? The babysitter club. I'm going to bring them to our next meeting. Christy does so much babysitting that she and her friends have a whole babysitting club. Oh, well, they're cooking. Do you want to play? Can we play checkers? I'm really good at checkers. Sure, let's play upstairs. You can go first, thanks. Now, don't let me win. I hate when big people do that. You're not letting me win again, are you? Well, you are. You're letting me win. But you were upset when I beat you. But I didn't want you to let me win. I wanted to win on my own. Karen, wait, I'm sorry, Slam. I need to hug something. Now that David Michael is gone, I'll see if Chanel will play with me. Oh, maybe I should let her sleep. I just have to hug Lucy instead. He's not as much fun as Chanel or Boo Boo. But that's okay. Hi, Moosey. Now, you look just like a baby. Have you ever had a bad day? A truly awful day? Probably not. A real cat might have a bad day, but not a stuffed one. You know what happened so far today, Moosey? Everything. I had a bad dream. I fell out of bed. I forgot my jeans. The Cruncho prize was missing, and my show wasn't on. And then Chanel wouldn't play with me. Boo Boo ran up a tree. I had to fight with Hannah and Christy treating me like a baby. I think you need a new outfit, Moose. Oh no! Isabella! Chapter 6. Karen, what's the matter? Look at Moosey. He's sick. He's falling apart. I'm the animal doctor, Karen. Do you give me permission to apparent Moosey? Operation on Moosey? I guess so. He'll have a scar, but I can fix him up. Okay, Dr. Isabella. Let me go get my tools. It will be okay, Lucy. Sewing. I guess you'll be having a bad day today. Having you, Karen. The worst. Everybody has a bad day. Do you want to know what happened to me on my worst day ever? What? You had a bad day? Yes. I was about 16, older than Christy. Yep. And all in the same day. I linked a test. My gym teacher yelled at me. I burned the chicken my family was making for dinner. I cut my hand. I had a fight with one of my sisters, and I lost my favorite earrings. That is pretty bad. Do you want to try what I do when I'm having a bad day? Yes, and so does Moosey. Well, that's good because Moosey's operation is finished. Thank you, Isabella. Okay, we're going to pretend the day is just beginning. You can start all over again. Lie down in bed and pretend you're still sleeping. Karen, it's time to wake up. It is morning already? Yes, time to start a brand new day. Okay, I just know today is going to be wonderful. Guess what? It's almost meal time. Why don't you run outside and see if Mr. Bennett is coming? Okay, Mr. Bennett is our mail carrier. He's very nice and always hands me all the mail for the house. Every day, Mr. Bennett tells me about the dogs he sees on his mail rotation. Like Mr. Bennett, almost as much as I like Mr. Tastetail, the ice cream man. No mail truck yet. Maybe Hannah, Lenny, and David Michael will come home soon. I shouldn't have yelled at Hannah. I want to go apologize to her. Then maybe we can play together. Still no mail. There's the mail truck. I've never seen this person before. Where is Mr. Bentel? Oh, hello. Is this your house? Yes, great. Here's your mail. I had been looking forward to talking to Mr. Bentel. Thanks. I couldn't feel my bad day coming back again. It's a new day. It's a new day. Oh, there's a package. I hope it's for me. It will be a surprise once I look through the mail. Dad, Isabella, Dad, Charlie, Isabella, magazine. It's almost to package. I really hope it's for me. A change of luck would be really nice. Andrew, 1210 Stoneberg. That's all I'm going to be reading today.
Okay.
Thank you, Amaya. I love how you bring the characters in that book to life. I love how you put your personality in there and infuse your personality. And I also love how you take the book and try to hide your face sometimes when you're reading. I love all that.
You call her out. That's the amazing Amaya. Thank you, Amaya.
You're welcome.
Great job.
Back to you, Ayana. Congresswoman Ayana.
Okay. Well. Okay, who do I want to introduce? We have two more scholars. Jamai, let's see your book.
Here, continue.
I'm having too much fun with this.
You have to say, tell the name of the book and the author and what you're going to read. Yeah. Let's see this.
Yesterday's Blues Tomorrow by Daniel E. Moss. Ooh, I said that.
Wait, what? What?
I said his name
Bro,
backwards.
say it.
Wow. Right.
Daniel E. Moss. That's
You just pulled out one of my books.
yeah. Yeah, I did.
Okay, what are you gonna read?
Those Mama said on those dark days when life just seems to be unbearable, remember those songs we taught you. She said, hold on to every note, memorize every melody. More importantly, remember that every word has double meaning, like codes that free the slaves from reality. And every voice sounds stronger in the harmony of a choir. The chorus sings as loud as the sky after the rain. She said, slowly the pain would disappear, and all you can hear are those songs.
Well, that is
Good job, yo. Jemai kept it short and sweet. He's not playing around. You're not gonna be able to pull him into your ways, Yana, over there. You guys try to be slick. Jemai came in, boom, knocked it out.
Okay, I tried. Well, Lyric, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna read the same book, but a different poem. Ancestors. I remember you way back when I was starving and thirsty. Life had me and left me for gone. Huh? My bad. Okay, we're starting over. I remember you way back when I was starving and thirsty. Life had me hurt and left me for gone. And you sang me a song and gave me strength. I haven't seen you since, except in dreams, where we would converse and write each other poems about life before here in another reality. You would take me places with your smile and soft hands, and I would follow through a hollow hole in time, and my mind would be completely free. We would analyze teaching by Marcus and Malcolm, retrace the steps of Harriet, and sit in the feet of Sojourner as she spoke wisdom from my eyes of God. I remember how odd it felt at times. I couldn't discern the difference between fantasy and reality, wondering if I were asleep with eyes wide open, hoping this marvel I am experiencing never ends. So yes, I remember you way back when I was starving and thirsty. Life had me hurt and left me for gone, and you sang me a song and gave me strength. I'm done.
Nice.
wow, thank you.
Nice words. I don't know if I like the author though, but very nice words.
Can you tell me what that poem was about?
No. Probably about writing a poem about what you think and how you felt when you were writing that poem and what you were thinking about as you wrote that poem.
Okay.
Of a civil rights leader.
I'll accept that for today. I'm just glad you guys joined us today. That's what's up. Let's see. Is Jakai still on here? Where is he? Jakai, you still there?
He wrote in the private chat, yeah.
Okay. You want to turn your mic on? Are you going to read? Jakai?
Tick tock, tick tock. All right, we're gonna have to hand it over to the teacher.
All right. Ms. Ayana, I think that's everybody for today.
Well, everyone besides me.
Oh, that's right. I knew we were forgetting the professor.
Oh, wait, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start now. Today I'm doing another continuation of the Babysitter's Club, Book 1, Christy's Great Idea, by Anne M. Martin. So let's start. Marianne and Claudia and I looked at each other and shrugged. Stacy returned about 20 minutes later, and her hands were empty. Where is it? Where's what? What, you forgot? What? Oh, no, I just forgot to do something. But it's all taken care of. I started to ask her another question, but Claudia flashed me a look that said I was being a pest. So I was quiet, and we worked on our flyer then. And when we were all finished, what it looked like was... Can you see it right here? That's the... Nope, right here. That's the flyer.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. I'll give the flyer to my mom, I said. She can make copies of it on Monday, and we can pass around the flyers next week. I've got to go home anyways. It's almost dinner time, and my mom's going to go out with Watson tonight. I made a face. Who's Watson? Stacy asked. Her boyfriend, I replied, making fake gagging noises. My parents are divorced. Oh, said Stacy, looking slightly uncomfortable. Your parents are divorced too? I asked. I realized how little I knew about her in that moment. Nope, they've been married for almost 15 years. Mine have been married for 20 years, said Claudia. My mother passed away when I was a baby, said Marion quietly. She had cancer. Again, Stacy looked embarrassed. It's all right, really. We're all different, and I don't really remember her. Sometimes I wish I did, though. I stood up. Well, I really better go, and I feel as though we all should because our parents are going to be home soon. See you guys tomorrow during the meeting. I called as I started down the Kishi stairs. Watson arrived at 6:30 sharp. David Michael ran to meet him. He loves Watson. That's because he doesn't remember Dad, so he thinks Watson is better than no father at all. I stayed in my room until Mom yelled up to me, Christy, Watson's here. Why does she always have to make me come down to see Watson? She knows I don't really like him. Coming, I said, trying to sound put out as if she had interrupted something important. When I came downstairs, Watson was standing in the kitchen with cartons of Chinese food. Surprise, he said. What? I asked suspiciously. Isn't this nice, Christy? My mom said brightly. Watson brought over Chinese food so we can all eat together before I go out. Watson was always bringing over food. You'd think he owned a restaurant. Who's taking care of you kids? Who's taking care of you kids? Watson asked when we were gone. He was talking about when we were gone, but it sort of came out weird. I thought it was really stinky that on the one weekend his kids came to stay, Watson had to go to work. And I'm sorry, I read that whole sentence wrong. I was like, work. I thought it was really stinky that on the one weekend his kids came to stay, Watson not only had to go to work, but left his kids with the babysitter while he went out with my mother. I found a very nice babysitter, Watson replied presently. She took care of Andrew and Karen this morning while I went to the office, and they liked her really a lot. Oh, I said. Watson set up white cartons on the table, and we began opening them, while Sam and I got out plates, napkins, and silverware. I made a face to Sam to show him what I thought about dinner, but Sam said, Thanks, Watson. This is really great. Sam and Charlie were sort of like Watson, too. Once, Sam even babysat for Watson's kids. I, for one, will never, ever babysit for them. I bet they're brats. Yeah, said Charlie. I'm taking Carol out for hamburgers tonight, but I don't mind eating first. Charlie has a stomach like a trash compactor. Mom, I asked, is there any of that leftover chili? Mom glared at me, and she didn't really answer my question. What's wrong, Kirsty? Said Watson. I thought you liked Chinese food. It's okay, I guess, but I don't really feel like it tonight. Watson looked slightly hurt, and when the table was set, we sat down, and everyone began helping themselves to mushu pork and chicken with cashews and beef with snow peas and other things Watson had brought. I was starving, and I love Chinese food, especially chicken and cashews. But I didn't let Watson know. Since there was no chili, I made myself a peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich. I slapped it on my plate and began nibbling it into the shape of a snowman, because I was very mature. I was about to bite off the snowman's head when Watson said, So, how are things, Christy? Fine. School okay? Yep. What are you doing over this? What are you doing that's new or interesting? Nothing. Hey, Watson, the math club won his third math meet yesterday, Sam said, coming to the rescue. He hates when I bug Watson. Watson needed a second to collect himself. He doesn't necessarily understand me. What, Sam? Oh, your third meet? That's great. And guess what? Exclaimed David Michael. Mom's going to get me a new G.I. Joe, one of the good guys. That sounds pretty exciting, said Watson. I don't know much about G.I. Joe dolls, but I don't think Andrew plays with them. Oh, he probably does, I said airily. And you just don't know that because you don't play with him enough. All the boys play with them. I glanced at Mom, and I could practically see smoke coming from her ears to let me know that I was in trouble. But I went on anyways. Basically, they're action toys, not dolls. Right, David Michael? David Michael beamed. Right, Christy. And Karen probably has a My Little Pony doll. Ever heard of one of those? At that moment, Mom slammed her fork onto the plate. She stood up so fast that she almost tripped her chair over. Christy, apologize to Watson this instant and then go to your room. But, I said, very sarcastic, meant to be polite, I haven't finished this delicious dinner yet. Kristen Amanda Thomas, you're asking for it, young lady. I got to my feet and apologized. I'm sorry, Watson, I mumbled, and walked up to the kitchen and stared at all the dolls. When I was halfway up towards my room, I mumbled over my shoulder, I'm sorry you're such a terrible sorry you're such a terrible boyfriend. Then I ran to my room and slammed the door. See, the thing was, Watson was actually a very good boyfriend. Karen and Andrew and their mother and my mom live right here in Stony Brook, and Watson has all the kids at his house each time he's supposed to. Plus, he celebrates every other holiday with them and never forgets the ones in between. My dad forgets all holidays. But I still don't like Watson horning into our family. He doesn't belong with us. Mom and Watson left without saying goodbye to me, and I felt really guilty about what I'd done. Before I went to sleep, I left a note on my mom's bed. It said, Dear Mom, I'm sorry I was so rude, and I guess I hadn't learned much about decorum yet. I hope you have fun on your date. I love you, Christy. When I woke up next morning, I found a note to me from my mom. It said, Dear Christy, I love you too, Mom. On Wednesday afternoon, I raced home from school and made a frantic search in front of our yard for the copy of the Stony Brook News. I'd found it under a peony bush in the garden, and I threw my things on the ground and sat down right in the middle of the yard. Leafed through the paper until I found the advertising section. Then, sure enough, fifth ad from the bottom in the third column was ours. It looked like... there's a lot of, Babysitters Club, need a babysitter, make one call. Yeah, reach 4 sitters. We had wanted to include more information on the ad, but when we called the newspaper, we found out that they charge you per line to run an ad. And our little ad was already pretty expensive, and we'd had to use our entire club's first week dues to pay for it. Still, the ad was awfully exciting. It was fun being in the newspaper. Hey, Christy, what are you doing? Claudia came running across our lawn, her cap snag jouncing against her back. Look, I exclaimed. Here it is, our ad. Ooh, let me see. Claudia dropped to her knees beside me, and I jabbled at the ad. Wow. Now, if we could just finish handing those flyers around today, she said, we might actually get some calls on Friday. I know. I felt like squealing and jumping up and down. Let's get Marianne to help us. Okay, I said, and Stacy. No, I think she's busy this afternoon. She told me in school today. What's she doing? I don't know. Come on, you ready? Yeah, just let me put my books inside, I said, and see if Kathy got here yet. She's babysitting David and Michael today. Kathy and David and Michael were already playing Candyland on the back porch, so I grabbed the last of the flyers from my desk and ran outside to Claudia. I only have 5 left, I said. I've got 6 more. We found Marianne, who also had 6 more, and we took our bicycles for Quentin Court, which is a few streets away from Stacy's house. There we put the last of the flyers in the mailboxes around Watson's house. Done, I said to Claudia and Miriam. They grinned at me. Now I guess we just sit back and wait for calls. Right, they both replied. And that's all I'm going to stop for today.
Why, thank you, Professor. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right.
And something tells me that Ayana's phone's gonna ring from her people down in Georgia after this.
Maybe. Yes, maybe. No, but also, does anybody else have anything to read for us? Anyone?
Anybody? Jakai, you still there? Is he gonna read?
Wait, look at the chat.
Is Zuri reading for us? No, Zuri's not gonna read. Jakai said he doesn't have a book.
Okay.
I have a book I was gonna read, but it's kind of long, so I'll wait till next week. It's called The
You
Black
sure you
Snowman.
don't want to read it?
I don't know. Lyric, should I read it?
Lyric.
Making her speak.
What did you say?
Did I read my book?
Read his book.
Sure.
All right, it's a book. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna try to read it. I don't read as good as you, Ayana,
Yes, please.
or Lyric, or Amaya. You read The Black Snowman, Amaya?
Black Snowman. Can you show me the picture, please? Oh, never.
Okay, check it out. See, Rob, I paid attention in class. Somewhere in a lonely grass hut in Western Africa, an aged storyteller prepares for the arrival of the village children. He tells stories of Anansi the spider, stories of how Anansi's head came to be so small, and of how jealousy came to the Ashanti tribe. The storyteller is ready except for one important thing, a brightly colored kente. As he wraps the cloth around him, his mind transforms into that of a young native. As an old man, he has forgotten the many stories, but when he wears the magic kente, the stories are quick and sharp in his mind. The kente restores his memory. The storytelling ritual continues for many years. Village children grow up, have their own children, and send them to hear and to learn. But one day, the storytelling came to an end. Invaders capture the villagers and seize their property. The prisoners are loaded onto ships that cross a vast ocean to the continent called America, where the African people are sold into slavery. The magic kente is sold too. It passes through generations even after slavery is no more. 1,000 uses fray its delicate threads until it is discarded as a useless rag, but it still possesses the magic. It still has wonders to perform. So I'm gonna show the pictures. The illustrations are really dope, so I'm gonna show them to everybody. Jacob Miller always woke up late on Saturday mornings, but not today. When his eyes opened, his heart was beating rapidly. He did not remember his dream, but it must have been a bad one. He felt frightened and angry. Jacob reached out to turn on the light. On the base of the lamp, a cowboy swung a lasso that formed a trimming for the bottom of the shade. The cowboy's left hand was chipped, the lasso torn. The boy who owned that lamp for the very first time would be an old man by now. Jacob would have chosen a lamp with robots or space warriors, but like everything else he owned, the lamp was old and well used. It made Jacob furious just to look at it. Jacob dressed quickly and followed the delicious breakfast smells coming from the kitchen. His younger brother Pee-wee was standing beside their mother at the stove. "Can we go Christmas shopping today?" Pee-wee asked. "Not today," Mama said. "Not today or any day," Jacob interrupted. "Poor folks like us can't afford Christmas." "Now, Jacob," Mama spoke, trying to smooth over the hurt she saw rushing into Pee-wee's eyes. "Maybe we won't go shopping together, but I know there's going to be presents." "Sure," said Jacob. "Maybe we'll get some old socks from that well-known clothing store. Y'all know, Salvation Army." Jacob's bitter words mocked his mother. Hurt, she yelled back at him. "Don't you ever talk to me like that in this house. Ever. Do you hear me, Jacob?" "Please don't fight," Pee-wee cried. "Mama, Jacob's sorry." But Jacob wasn't sorry, for this scene was repeated at least once a week. The words are not always the same, but the hurt was the same. Jacob walked away and sat quietly on the same stool he always sat on. He held his head in his hands and stared out the kitchen window, holding back his tears. Nothing was said as Mama mixed and poured pancake batter into the skillet. Jacob knew his mother was waiting for an apology, but he couldn't speak to her. Mama stumbled over her words. I know it's hard on you, son, but we're just going through some rough times right now." But Jacob broke down in a rage. "I hate being black. I hate it." The chill ran down Mama's back as if her spine were a huge icicle. "Being black ain't got nothing to do with it, son. Everything black is bad," Jacob repeated words he'd heard others say. "You ever hear of the Black House? No, but there's a White House. A white tornado cleans your sink. A black one destroys your house. And how about fairy tales? It's the white knight who wins, the black knight who loses. Good magic is white, black magic is bad." "That's nonsense," Mama answered. "Those are just tired old words I've been hearing since I was a girl." Pee-wee tugged at his mother's skirt. "Mama." "Not now, Pee-wee," Mama said, staring sadly at her older son. Pee-wee tried again. "Mama!" "Shh," Mama said, but as she turned around, she noticed smoke rising from the pan. She looked inside and started to laugh. Pee-wee laughed too. "What's so funny?" Jacob asked. That is, she said, the man in the pan. There's no man in there, said Jacob. Just a black pancake. Child, you have no imagination. Still laughing, Mama bustled about the kitchen until her masterpiece was complete. She gave the pancake man 2 Cheerios for eyes and a sausage for a mouth. Jacob tried to hold back a smile but could not. He laughed so hard he felt ready to burst. Mama tickled Jacob, then both boys tickled her back, and they all found themselves on the kitchen floor. Mama doubled over Jacob and Pee Wee kicking their feet in the air. Do you think our pancake man is happy being black? Jacob asked. Why, of course, said Mama. Happy ain't got no color. Then Jacob's laughter dissolved as quickly as it had come. This is dumb, he said as he grabbed his coat and walked out the door. The morning air was crispy cool. Patches of white snow winked brightly between puddles of gray, foot-worn slush. Horns honked at children who aimed their snowballs at buses and trucks. Jacob stepped out into the battle. 2 snowballs exploded on either side of him. He jumped out into the battlefield, dodged a few missiles, then retreated out back, where he could sit on the cellar door and be alone. But it was no use. Pee Wee was already on his trail. What do you want? Jacob asked. I just want to play with my big brother, said Pee Wee. Let's build a snowman. We can't build a snowman, Jacob snapped. Just look at that snow. It's watery and black from all the people trampling on it. Then we'll make a black snowman, said Pee Wee. Black snowman? Just what I've always wanted. Jacob watched as Pee Wee packed the snow with his small hands. At the rate you're going, you won't be done till spring, Jacob said. With Jacob's help, the work went quickly. The harder Jacob worked, the better he felt. This black snowman sure could use some dressing up, he suggested. It was Pee Wee's job to pick through the trash to find a wardrobe. Steel wool for hair, buttons for eyes, and a funny old hat. Pee Wee looked at the snowman proudly, but Jacob had a more critical eye. Something's missing, he said. Like what? Pee Wee asked. Like it's cold out here. Find him something to wear on his shoulders. Pee Wee returned to the trash where a colorful cloth caught his eye. Look at this, Pee Wee said. He held up the cloth for his brother to see. Mama, the cloth, y'all right? Nah, Jacob scowled. Don't use that. It doesn't go with the rest of them. Find something else. Well, I like it, Pee Wee said, and I'm going to use it. Pee Wee carefully draped the cloth around the snowman's lumpy body. Though old and torn, the cloth began to come alive again, with powers passed down through many generations. Pee Wee had discovered the magic kente. Now he's perfect, Pee Wee said. Jacob looked at the sooty snowman in his tattered hat and shawl. He felt sad and angry at the same time. A black snowman. Is that ugly? God, that's ugly. Who you calling ugly? The boys looked around but saw no one. Who said that? Jacob asked. I did. Over here. It's our snowman, said Pee Wee, skipping with delight. Our snowman can talk. Jacob stared suspiciously. The snowman picked up Pee Wee, lifted him high. Well, look here, said the snowman. A little one who still believes. The snowman put Pee Wee down again and they danced. We have to go, said Jacob. The snowman led his partner towards Jacob. But you haven't danced yet, said the snowman. Why, it's downright impolite not to dance with a new friend. See the big burly snowman? I like this book. Y'all gotta bear with me. You're no friend of mine, Jacob said. The snowman walked around Jacob. He pressed his glove to Jacob's forehead and squinted his eyes in concentration. The snowman's color changed from gray to pink to red to yellow to blue, and finally to solid black. It was as if all of the colors in space had painted themselves onto his body. He opened his eyes wide as if he had made a sudden discovery. So black is bad, huh? Said the snowman. That's right, Jacob spoke up. What is more important in a book? The white pages, the black words, or the message the book holds? Asked the snowman. Huh? Jacob said, puzzled. The heavens are black and the universe is held in it, the snowman said. Should we call the earth bad because it is cradled in blackness? Jacob didn't know what to say. The snowman continued, have you sat at the table of your forefathers? Have you accepted the shield of courage they have passed along to you? Jacob hesitated. He didn't know what this crazy snowman was talking about. I see you back there, Jacob. Daniel. Jacob, Pee Wee, Mama called from the window. Oh, brother, it's Mama. Pee Wee spoke up, then yelled back, coming, Ma. The snowman broke the spell. We will meet again, Jacob. My work with you has just begun. The boys scooted down the alley into the street. In the hallway, they agreed not to tell their mother or anyone else about what had happened. Night's curtains fell upon the sky. The moon was dark except for the street lights that showed dimly through the window. So what do you think about our snowman? Pretty neat, huh? Said Pee-wee. What's so neat about an ugly black snowman? Jacob asked. He's no ordinary snowman, said Pee-wee. I don't want to talk about him, said Jacob. But he's alive, said Pee-wee. Our snowman is alive. It's just your imagination. It's just your imagination, Jacob lied. Now go to sleep and leave me alone. Then let's talk about Christmas, Pee-wee said. I want to get Mama something real special this year. Jacob became angry. Don't you understand anything? We don't have any money. But I have a plan. We can collect empty bottles and cans and turn them in for refund money, Pee-wee explained. If we collect a whole lot, we could buy Mama a real special present. We could buy her that perfume she likes so much. What do you think, huh? What do you think, Jacob? Where are you going to get all those cans and bottles, Pee-wee said. You'll have to walk half the city to find them. Oh, no, answered Pee-wee. I've seen cans all over that old building across the street. That's where a lot of people throw their stuff. No way, said Jacob. Don't you go near that place. The building is falling to pieces and Mama will get angry. Anyway, I ain't looking through nobody's garbage. Jacob could tell that Pee-wee was sleeping, but Jacob's mind was too crowded with confusing thoughts to fall asleep just yet. Then Jacob heard a voice. Arise, great warrior. As Jacob approached the window, a blue-white light rose from the alley below. The snowman was standing with his hands up towards the sky. He waved at the broken wall of the building and single brick dislodged and fell. On his way down, the brick changed its shape, and standing in the alley was an African warrior. Then the snowman threw a trash can lid high into the air, and as it spun, it turned into a majestic black queen. Jacob put his coat over his pajamas and ran outside, as you can see the visual. Y'all bored yet? Okay.
I really like this book.
Okay, I'm going to finish it real quick. There's only a few more pages. The snowman stepped upon a mound of snow, then waved his arm and asked, have you studied with the scholars of Timbuktu? Suddenly, a small clump of snow transformed into a giant figure. Or ridden with the horsemen of Bornu. With just a wave of his hand, a horse and rider rose out of the snow. Have you danced with the Zulu, wrestled with the Nabu, hunted with the Bini? Have you heard the stories of the Ashanti, the poems of the Tuareg, the prayers of the Zandi? Who are these people, Jacob asked. They are people just like you, the snowman replied. These are strong, brave Africans from whom you descend, black people who should make you proud of your great heritage. I'm not like them, Jacob said. I'm not a warrior. I'm just a boy. Jacob ran back upstairs and hid under his blanket, but he couldn't fall asleep for a long, long time. The next day, Jacob woke up to see Pee-wee at his bedside with a shopping bag in his hand. This is your last chance, Pee-wee said. You coming or not? Jacob rolled over, turning on his back towards Pee-wee. Go hunt garbage by yourself, said Jacob, and he pretended to go back to sleep until his brother left the room. After Jacob dressed, he poked around the kitchen stove to see what Mama was cooking for Sunday dinner. I'm making your favorite, said Mama. Mama was always trying to make things better. Pee-wee was right. She deserved something special for Christmas. I'm going out for a while, Jacob said. Jacob looked up and down the block, but Pee-wee was nowhere in sight. Then, boom, an explosion. Jacob hit the ground and hit his head. When he looked up, he saw smoke and fire coming from the abandoned building across the street. The black snowman appeared at his side. Pee-wee is in that building, he said. The snowman ran into the building with Jacob close behind. Great licking flames devoured everything they touched. Wooden beams collapsed as the fire consumed their last bits of moisture. The air was filled with smoke that seemed to form the shapes of the great Africans, giving Jacob courage and leading him to his brother. Jacob pressed himself close to the coolness of the snowman's body, and the snowman covered himself with the boy with the kente. Beneath this magical cloth, they were safe from the smoke and the flames. In a room on the second floor, they found Pee-wee. He was huddled in a corner, sobbing and coughing, sitting next to the shopping bag that was half filled with bottles and cans. As Jacob hugged his brother, he noticed the trail of water the snowman was leaving behind him. The snowman's feet had melted away. Restore! Restore, the snowman said, and the snow returned to his feet. The snowman removed the kente from his own shoulders and wrapped the two boys in his protective magic. Under the safety of the kente, there was only room for two. The snowman melted rapidly. His feet and legs had turned to slush. He walked awkwardly, bumping into burning beams and stumbling over falling debris. His melting arms felt for the doorway and found Jacob's outstretched hand. Snowman, Jacob whispered. Restore, restore, the snowman repeated. But he was weakening. Jacob, get your brother out. Jacob, believe. Jacob, believe in yourself. Gather up your courage and fight, Jacob. Fight off the flames of all those bad feelings you carry inside. Believe in your strength. Believe in your love for your brother. Believe that you can save Pee-wee, and you will. Almost overcome with tears, Jacob said softly, I believe, snowman, I believe. Restore, said the snowman once again. Jacob wrapped the cloth even more tightly around himself and his brother and fought smoke and flames all the way down the stairs. Once again, the Africans appeared and showed Jacob the way. When the boys reached the bottom, they turned around. The snowman was gone, leaving only a puddle of water that soon evaporated into the extreme heat. Where do you think he is? Pee-wee asked. On one of the bottom steps, Joseph noticed steel wool buttons and a funny old hat. I think he's gone. As the boys left the burning building, they saw their mother break through the crowd. Jacob felt smothered in hugs and kisses. He decided that it was a good feeling. Jacob closed his eyes and took a long, deep breath. He suddenly felt lucky to have Pee-wee and Mama. He felt glad to be alive, and he felt good about himself. Restored, he said. Yes, I am restored. My cans, said Pee-wee. I forgot my cans for Mama's present. Hush, said Jacob. We'll look for cans tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll all go together. It took several hours for the fire department to put out the blaze. Finally, it was all over. On his way back to the truck, one of the firemen noticed a colorful cloth hovering over the snow. Thinking about his daughter, he thought she could use this cloth to make a dress for her doll. He picked it up, put it into his pocket, and he brought that beautiful kente cloth home. That's my story for today, y'all. What do you think?
I think it's dope.
I like it. So this is Black Heritage Month, Black History Month. Thank you, Daniel. This is like a period of time in which everybody should be restored. Lyric, that's one of the reasons why I appreciated the program. Are you crying, Ayana?
No. No. No, I was on the end. I was like this because I thought there was something in my eye. And he was like, you're crying.
All right. This is one of those people often wonder, why do we celebrate Black History Month during the month of February? Back in 1926, when Carter G. Woodson created that whole concept and idea of Black History Month, it was actually Black History Day. Then it evolved to Black History Week, and then eventually Black History Month. People always assumed that it was a month given to us by white America, but it was actually a day that a Black man took the initiative to establish to ensure that on this particular day every year, we would learn something about ourselves. It grew into a week because it was just so much information. It eventually evolved into a month. But it's definitely a month where you just take the time, you celebrate yourself, and you celebrate your beautiful Blackness year round. But you take this time to restore yourself. You learn more about yourself, learn more about your history, your heritage, your culture, and all the, the hundreds of languages they have across the continent. Your birthright. So when you think about that, you think about Black folks throughout the diaspora from the Caribbean. Some of us have relatives in the West Indies. Some of us have relatives in the UK. We're all over this. We're all over the globe. And we have to think about that. And we have to empower ourselves and kind of just bask in it sometimes. So this is that month in which you do that. And I just felt that book was an appropriate book. Yes, Amaya.
Yeah, I do have it's not, I have two parts of my sides, because my dad is Native American and my mom is Black. So basically, I am my great grandfather, right? Because I'm my Native American is Chokin, I think, yeah. It starts with CH, and yeah. And my great grandfather was the leader of it. So I celebrate it. Well, I still thank my great grandfather for always being there for the Native Americans. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to remember, you always celebrate your history, your heritage. They are who you are. So always remember that. All right. Rob, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you, Amaya, for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's a beautiful day today. Enjoy your Saturday, the rest of your Saturday. What's today? It's going to be up to 50 degrees today. So if you've been stuck in the house and it's freezing,
unless you're in Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah. See, those Georgians.
Yeah. It's 70 degrees here.
It's 52 degrees.
Thank you for rubbing that in. Thank you
Think
for
it's
rubbing
about
that
to
in.
rain.
Wow. All right.
But
It
thank you
says-
for joining today's Young Scholars Academy. If you have any friends that you want to pull in to come on Young Scholars next Saturday to read and share their stories, please invite them to do so. You know, the more the merrier. We appreciate oh, there's Zuri.
Mr. Rob,
Yes.
you just stole my job that I just stole from you.
Oh, take
Oh, okay, hold on. Rewind it back.
back.
Go ahead. I'm on mute.
Hi. Thank you for joining us today at the Young Scholars Academy, and I hope you enjoyed all the stories we've read. We will do this again next Saturday. This is every Saturday. And if you have any scholars that you know, or any friends, any relatives, anybody that you know that would like to read on this, please let us know.
She's better than you, Rob.
Hey, she is. I can't.
Thank you.
I can't hate. I can only hate on you, D.
All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Mwah. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.